Alrighty y'all, Lou here from Beyond the Bounds, and today we're going to go over where a co-angler should and should not cast. Stay tuned, it's coming up. Alrighty y'all, Lou here from Beyond the Bounds. This channel geared towards bass fishing, gear reviews, tackle reviews, tournament footage. So if you like that sort of thing, hit that subscribe button down below. Let's get into today's topic, which is talking about where a co-angler should and should not cast. Alright guys, well hopefully you're watching this video and you're thinking, hey, you know what? That tournament fishing looks fun. I want to get into it. And let me tell you, I've had a blast. I've had nothing, and I repeat, nothing but good boaters. I want to make this series of videos to help you prepare for your next season as a co-angler. Now, you're going to be put in all types of situations as a co-angler, and some of them just aren't going to be fun. But you know what? If you keep your head down, you fish hard, you might come out holding a trophy at the end of the year, and you'll definitely learn some things. So this year I'm going to be making my jump up to the front of the boat. I've been at the back of the boat for 2 years now, and you know what, there are some things that I've learned as far as, you know, casting and where to cast, because what you don't want to happen is this.
Take a look at one of those guys
way far in front of me,
trying to make up some ground today. That's Frank Godwin, fishing
all
the
for
back
you
of the
having
boat.
a good day, but
From Troy Morrow.
not pleased about that at all.
Frank came into today over 23 pounds.
There's a reason I turned the boat this way.
A little miscommunication in the Ranger.
Believe so.
It does happen from time to time.
It does happen. And that's, I would say,
It's a game of communication.
after years of doing this on the co-angler and the pro side, there are dividing lines in the boat, right? And I think Troy's
Sure.
upset maybe about the cast he made. It could be one of those situations Troy turned the boat when he had a bait out there. Who knows?
Yep.
But Troy's a little upset there.
There's a delicate dance
there
that
is.
happens out on the water. You know, obviously we've hyped up how much these co-anglers are fishing for, and the reason they're fishing these tournaments is they're competitive. They want to win, and just like every fisherman, you see your targets. You're trying to measure those targets ahead of time, trying to catch one fish at a time. And you know, sometimes in those corners, like that, like the boat was positioned, that's where things can get a little gray.
Absolutely.
And that cast can accidentally go, and where you think Troy's putting his attention one way, and then he turns back the way you have, and you're getting a bite, and it kind of just, you know, you can feel bad real quick setting into a fish.
And look, these are high pressure situations for both anglers, right?
Yes.
You're trying to win 120,000, trying to get to that
Line on
FLW
the
Cup.
line. Yep,
Co-anglers are
they're
trying to win
extremely
50 grand.
Sure.
It works better when they work together.
Yep.
And not against each other.
Sure.
It works better when they work together.
Yep.
And not against each other.
Now, I actually ran into Troy at a tournament, and you know, never talked to the guy before, and I walked right up to him and I said, hey man, what was the deal with that? And you know, he got a lot of heat. He got a lot of heat from one side, and he got a lot of praise from another side. And let me tell you, that situation could have been avoided. Like I said, I don't know Troy, but my first impression of the guy was a stand-up guy, solid guy. And you know what? He was like, listen, man, I knew that fish was there. That co-angler had cast up to the front of the boat. You know, that made him very upset. Now, I can tell you in the few events as BFLs, I've actually had co-anglers cast up to the front of the boat. You know, it all really depends on who you're fishing with that day. You need to try to work these kind of things out beforehand. And when I watched that video, I came away thinking like, listen, here's a guy who's been on the Pro Tour for quite some time, Forest Wood Cup qualifier, all this. He's not somebody who's just gonna get blown out of shape over nothing, right? So that to me, when I saw that, I was like, that reaction, yeah, there was probably something that caused that reaction. It wasn't just him being a hothead. And you know what? That's kind of what he conveyed to me when I was talking with him. So for this video, that's the one thing I want to help you avoid are those awkward situations. Again, you're gonna be put in situations to where you don't have anything to throw at. It's not gonna be fun. You're gonna see some of the juiciest pieces of things that you wanna throw at and you just can't. So let's get into that. Bring up my power poles real fast. What I'm gonna kind of do right now is position the boat as to, you know, I'm fishing, I'm a boater. These are kind of the positions you're gonna be faced with right here. Is that, say you've got this nice looking little laydown right here. I'm the boater, I'm gonna come up to it, and I'm gonna start flipping this thing. And you know what, I'm positioning myself here. Heck, I might even power pole down on this. And unfortunately, you might not have anything back behind you. Fortunately for where I'm at right now, you would have all kinds of things to fish behind you. Your gut instinct is probably telling you, man, I really want to fish this same thing too. It's probably true because it's structure. Fish hold on structure. Lord, I wish I really could catch one off of this right now just to kind of show y'all. But now I kind of want to show you a little different look at it. You'll see maybe that I've kind of repositioned the boat to where I've got kind of one part of it off up here and then I've got one part off of it up here. Now this part up here actually might be in play for you. It all depends on your guy and it all depends on what you've kind of talked with him beforehand about that. There are a lot of boaters that won't want you to do that. Matter of fact, if I were a boater, the first thing I'm gonna start working is this right here, because I came over here to this piece of structure, I found fish, hopefully I'm working a pattern. And I want to make sure that if there's a fish right there, that, you know, I've got the best chance of catching him. So, you know, here I am, I'm fishing it. I'm fishing it. Let's throw in a hypothetical, all right? I just power poled down. I'm going to take my bait, maybe I broke it off, and set down and start tying on something new. Now, this is actually really good here because you're standing right where the Coangler would be. This is basically right off of my trolling motor foot pedal right here. You've seen me start kind of working this thing. You know I'm fishing it. You know maybe I broke off or something. I'm gonna retie. I've power poled down. I'm gonna keep fishing that, right? So as a co-angler, that is now off limits. You should not be trying to fish that. All right, so say I've got my bait tied back on. Gonna make another cast right up in there. Hopefully something will bite it, because that would be really awesome that if there was something in there I could catch one while talking about it. Maybe we'll just kind of work it in and out of this. Again, I'm still fishing this, so this is not where I'd want a co-angler casting. Anything back in here, by all means, go at it, because I'm clearly working this part up here. So I've started moving the boat. You can kind of see that the structure right there is kind of just over the console and everything. By all means, guys, now it's even with the back of the boat, you should be fishing that. I think actually one of the things that I don't like seeing pros do, now this always differs too, because they might be fighting current, fighting wind, you know, is that they start fishing backwards towards stuff once you get to it. It's their boat at the end of the day. It's their boat, it's their prerogative if that's how they want to do it. But you know what, it's hard enough when you're in the back and you don't get control of it. I'd like to see more boaters not do that, and most boaters didn't do that to me. But that'll give you an idea of kind of the structure and kind of where it's at in the position of the boat. Once you've passed it, once he's passed on it, even if he's coming around it now, you know, let's imagine that, hey, I'm coming around it and he's still working that same piece of cover, right? He's just at a different angle on it now, coming in on a different side. You've got access to all of this. You should be able to go ham on that. A lot of the time it'll truly depend on how and where you're fishing. I've had events to where, you know, we're running up this bank because we've got to get back because, you know, my boater blew a prop. We're going about 80% all the way up the bank. Well, if you're doing that, there's no way that you can make an effective presentation by just casting straight off of this. Like the old adage was, oh, just don't cast in front of the consoles here and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's good, but I mean, when you're rolling down the bank at 80% and you make a cast, by the time that hits the water and starts to get any kind of sink, you've already gone back. Now you're playing catch up, and now your bait's moving faster. So in those situations, it's all right to, you know, kind of cast up into this area to make sure that you get a good presentation. And of course, if your boater doesn't want you to, he's gonna let you know. Matter of fact, I wanna give you an example up on Thousand Islands to where, you know, I developed a way to kind of effectively present my bait, and I asked the boater, I said, hey, do you mind if I make my cast up forward? You all right if I cast a little like this way just to drift back with the current? Thank you, sir. Because what I was doing was, you know, we're sitting in about 30 feet of water. So I was casting up, the current was pushing my bait down, and by the time my bait hit the bottom and I reeled in some slack, I had a nice tight line and I was fishing off the back of the boat. But here's another example for you guys. Say we're going right down this kind of cove that's in the back. I mean, so long as you've got access to it, you can cast to it. If you see it, matter of fact, that's one of the best things you can do as a co-angler. Keep your eyes open, try to keep your head up and looking forward too, because what you can do is plan your net cast. That's actually one of the things that I found myself not doing enough of was looking forward, because if you look forward and you watch for where your boater is casting, you'll be able to identify things that maybe he missed. I had a key fish for me that came on Lake Champlain where I placed 5th in the Costa event because my boater, he hit the piece of structure, but he missed the little tuft of grass that was right next to that structure. And I threw in right on that little piece of grass, and sure enough, caught one of my biggest fish of the day. Got him. Woo-hoo-hoo! Yeah! Well, guys, at the end of the day, there's the best way to avoid any kind of conflict, the best way to minimize the amount of stress on the boat is to just be open with each other, talk to each other, and be courteous to each other. Like I said, the boater's up here, he's paid his money, he's paid a lot of money, you've paid your money, you've paid a lot of money, you both want to win, you both want to compete. Unfortunately, he's the one with control, and he's going to do what's best for him, and that's all right. That's what he should do. That's his job. That's why he's there. That's why he's competing. But all in all, anything that you have that's on the back there is fair game to you. That's your casting area. I would say that you could pretty much go all the way up into about this area right here, which is almost to the front of the rod lockers, because majority of the time they're going to be casting straight forward, 45-degree angle. You know, they still might hit something like this little beaver hut right here. Matter of fact, they probably would hit a beaver hut. Beaver hut's always good. This is, again, another perfect example. This is directly across from the boat right now. Yeah, it's not up forward ahead where you think he should be casting. Again, it's his boat. He can cast wherever he wants, but you can tell that he's fishing it. We don't need to see our lures as co-anglers come flying in over here as well, because he's clearly fishing it. And like I said earlier, it may get to the point to where he's still sitting here picking it apart. It's directly across from the back of the boat. You're fair game to hit that, even though he's picking it apart right now. One of the things that I'd probably say to him right this is like, you don't mind if I'm doing that, right? Like, you're okay with that, right? Now, it's one of those things, after he leaves it and starts moving on, guys, it's fair game. You know, it's at the back of the boat. He missed that fish. Again, I know this can't cover every single situation that you may find yourself in, but again, hopefully it will help you with knowing where to cast from the back of the boat as a co-angler. Everything towards the back of the boat, all yours. You know, this starts to become kind of the gray area right in here. If the guy has a real problem with you casting past the center, the console, well, then, you know, that's just how your day's gonna go. And that'll be up to you to just kind of mitigate that situation as best you can. So guys, I hope this helps you out. Hope this helps you with your next season as a co-angler with whatever trail you might choose. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.